In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honoured ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisis2peace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Vegan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
There's a haze hanging over the earthquake zone. Made of broken buildings and torn roads, broken hearts and torn lives. Repeated earthquakes have brought time to a standstill. Many now live in tent cities after losing their homes.
Our Fragile Planet, 2023's Wake Up Call, Part 1 of 4. Continue watching to find out more.
The souls of all sentient beings are interwoven through numerous births and rebirths in the samsaric world. We should show all animals gratitude and respect through compassion and sympathy. The Venerable Lama Kuzan Dorje Rinpoche, vegetarian.
Animals want to be free, just like us. Animals get scared, just like us. Animals want to live, just like us.
Oi, Manibota, concerned viewers. That's how you say, "Hi, how are you?" in Cape Verdean Creole. My name is Ligia. The compassionate people of Cabo Verde wish that all of humanity will soon embrace the noble vegan lifestyle to ensure a beautiful, healthy planet for future generations.
Make peace now, not make women widows. Not make children cry. Make nations strong and still. Make your heart beautiful and new.
Welcome to our show, Our Fragile Planet, 2023's Wake Up Call, Part 1 of 4. In recent decades, it seems that natural disasters have become part of our daily lives. Media outlets often report earthquakes, floods, fires, severe storms, and droughts occurring in various parts of the world. These extreme weather events not only ravage infrastructure, but more importantly, shatter lives, leaving behind grieving loved ones. On today's program, we look at the major earthquakes and sinkholes that occurred worldwide. Early in the year, a devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey and Syria, claiming the lives of more than 50,000 people.
In southern Turkey, buildings crumble like sand. Obliterated by some of the worst earthquakes in a century. The first struck before dawn as the country slept. The impact captured on a shop's CCTV, shaking for around 90 seconds. The terror and scale of the damage revealed with the light. The earthquake was incredibly powerful, unleashing widespread destruction without warning. A force so intense, it wiped out history in seconds. This 2,000-year-old castle among the wreckage.
There's a haze hanging over the earthquake zone. Made of broken buildings and torn roads, broken hearts and torn lives. Repeated earthquakes have brought time to a standstill. Many now live in tent cities after losing their homes.
More than 50,000 people across Turkey and Syria have been killed. Millions have been displaced. And now the focus is shifting towards resettling people left homeless and reconstructing and rebuilding communities. Well, a report by the World Bank estimates the damage done by the earthquakes in terms of direct physical damage to stand at $34 billion. That's equivalent to 4% of Turkey's GDP. As a result of the February 6th quake and the aftershocks, 1.5 million people have been forced to abandon their homes.
The earthquakes also caused significant economic disruption. Estimates from the United Nations Development Program revealed that the damage resulting from this catastrophic event, the deadliest global disaster since 2010, and the most expensive in the modern history of earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, surpasses $100 billion.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Slovenia is one of them. Slovenia Animal Protection Act. This law establishes the responsibility of humans for the protection of animal people, laying down rules for the good treatment of animal folk, and specifying what is considered animal person torture and what practices are prohibited, etc. Acts of animal individual cruelty are punishable by a fine of €2,400 to €84,000. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan, make peace, so be it.
A month later, in South America, a powerful earthquake struck Ecuador's Pacific coast and northern Peru, causing widespread panic as people fled from collapsed buildings. The quake resulted in the loss of at least 15 lives in Ecuador and claimed the life of one child in Peru, with over 380 people sustaining injuries. Survivors grappled with the pain of losing their loved ones and homes, prompting pleas for assistance.
The earthquake, which had a magnitude of 6.8, brought down buildings from the coast to the Andean highlands. Most of the destroyed homes housed the poor, were old and didn't meet building standards in a country prone to earthquakes. In the small coastal town of Puerto Bolivar, residents mourned the loss of life and the material damage. Unfortunately, my neighbour's house fell, and his family was crushed in the flooded house. He lost 5 family members. We are poor, humble people who build our houses with our sweat. We have it here thanks to God, and look at the misfortune that's befallen us today.
Indonesia is prone to frequent earthquakes due to its location on the arc of volcanoes and fault lines within the Pacific Basin, also known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. While most of these quakes are minor, the region has experienced a few devastating ones in recent times. In February and June, strong earthquakes struck the north coast of Papua and the main Indonesian island of Java, resulting in damage to buildings and the loss of at least 4 lives. Just a few months before these events, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake hit West Java, causing the collapse of schools and houses and resulting in a death toll of at least 268, more than 1,000 injuries, and the displacement of 58,000 people. This year, the strongest tremor to hit Morocco since 1900 devastated countless people's lives in Marrakesh and in communities of the high Atlas Mountains. Unlike in nations situated along the Ring of Fire, such powerful tremors are considered uncommon in Morocco, even though they are not deemed unexpected, as per assessments by the U.S. Geological Survey.
The area's strongest earthquake in more than a century has killed nearly 3,000, with thousands more injured. The destruction and devastation are beyond words, with at least 100,000 children impacted by the disaster, and that's according to UNICEF. The epicenter of the 6.8 quake is located in the country's high Atlas Mountains, where buildings crumbled and left communities cut off from the outside world. Villagers are digging by hand or shovels because getting heavy equipment into these remote areas has been nearly impossible.
In the town of Talat al-Kaoub, young Maoud al-Atnasser weeps over the death of his little brother, just 7 years old. I thank God for the beautiful memories I have of him, says his father, Brahim. They're all I have left of him. The heartache and destruction are worst here in the remote high Atlas, where twisting roads, steep cliffs, and rustic dwellings, the very things that make these mountains so jaw-dropping, made the earthquake and its aftermath so deadly. Many of these homes are made out of mud bricks, so they don't just collapse, they crumble, and they don't leave any air pockets for survivors who tend to just choke to death on the dust. Towns are cut off and survivors forced to sleep on the streets.
Macho Man? Aha! You are a vegan!
A series of earthquakes have struck Afghanistan in early October this year, compounding the suffering of a population already grappling with a severe humanitarian crisis. These earthquakes, the deadliest in Afghanistan in 25 years, have leveled homes and buried people beneath the rubble.
A series of devastating earthquakes struck western Afghanistan over the weekend. The U.S. Geological Survey said the first quake on Saturday was a 6.3 magnitude. It was followed by several powerful aftershocks. The quakes destroyed tens of villages and towns near the city of Herat. Days later, rescuers continue to sift through the rubble in search of the living and the dead. An official with the country's disaster management ministry said the death toll from the quakes is already over 4,000 people. Other estimates are lower, but still in the thousands. Markers from mass graves now dot the terrain as survivors struggled to bury the dead. One man told the AP, none of the houses are intact. All families have lost 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, and up to 12 or more members. The grief was palpable. In one village, a group of women huddled together in mourning.
Thousands of people now face a long period of danger and insecurity in a country where aid has already been limited since the Taliban returned to power in 2021. Residents are sleeping outside with little protection from the coming winter. The Taliban and international aid agencies warn that the situation is dire.
Maybe we can face or see many communicable diseases, and the people those affected from the unavailability of their shelters and unavailability of the clean water.
There is also an extreme shortage of food. Rural communities in Herat province have been suffering from a years-long drought.
Many more earthquakes happened this year, causing financial loss, injuries, and even loss of life.
Want to be obese? No? Then choose vegan.
Concerned viewers, we'll take a moment now to pray for the earthquake victims and be back shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Peace for Ukraine or you reign.
Welcome back to our show, Our Fragile Planet, 2023's Wake Up Call, Part 1 of 4. The majority of earthquakes are natural events, but human activities such as mining and oil and gas extraction can modify the stresses and strains within Earth's crust, potentially triggering earthquakes. During an earthquake, the underlying rock layers can shift or be displaced, altering the flow of water and sometimes leading to sinkholes. In the natural context, water gradually dissolves the rock beneath the soil, causing the soil layer to eventually collapse and create surface cavities. However, various human activities have the potential to disturb the underlying rock, resulting in human-made sinkholes. Sinkholes present significant dangers to both humans and animal people, as well as to property. In recent times, an increasing number of sinkholes have been linked to activities such as drilling, mining, construction, damaged water pipes, underground storm drains, sewer systems, inadequately compacted soil after excavation work, and even heavy traffic.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Two massive sinkholes suddenly emerged on the main thoroughfare of Villanueva, situated southwest of Guatemala's capital, Guatemala City, engulfing 2 cars and trapping 6 people. Thankfully, emergency services managed to rescue 4 of the injured individuals after several hours. Tragically, days later, rescuers retrieved a vehicle containing the bodies of a woman and her daughter. The heavy rainfall in the region was held responsible for triggering landslides and the subsequent collapse of roadways. In another incident, a colossal sinkhole in Dicera, Texas expanded rapidly, reaching a staggering size of 1,000 feet or 304 meters in width and 400 feet or 121 meters in depth overnight. This development caused panic among nearby residents.
It's a giant sinkhole in Liberty County that's been dormant, you might say, but now it's swallowing up land again. It's in the town of Dayzeta, about 45 minutes from Beaumont. The town sits on top of a salt dome. In 2008, the sinkhole made national headlines. It went from a hole to a crater, some 900 feet wide and 250 feet deep. It swallowed buildings, trees, and vehicles. And now it's engulfed half of a storage shed and some storage tanks. For some residents, it is, yes, deja vu.
In California, as torrential rain poured down, sinkholes opened up on a street in Los Angeles, swallowing cars and requiring 2 motorists to be rescued after falling into the holes.
Here on Iverson Road of the Santa Susana Pass, one car plunged down this 15-foot sinkhole. Then a passing truck drove into the same hole and landed atop the other car. Those 2 people trapped in the bottom eventually transported to the hospital, lucky to be alive.
The sinkhole later grew double in size, about 40 feet or 12 meters deep, before the city tried to stabilize it and get the road fixed. A giant sinkhole in West Virginia was about to swallow buildings and surrounding streets.
Large sinkhole. Look at this. This is Hinton in Summers County. It's grown. Back in August, the opening on Route 20 measured 6 feet wide. Now it's grown to about 10 times that size. The sinkhole caused the police department to evacuate in August. Now it's affecting schools. The road is exclusive route to Summers County High School, forcing students to remote learn until a solution for this situation is found.
O Gaza, all lands belong to the Lord, not any grabber. Live in love with your neighbors, not die in horror.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan.
The West Virginia Department of Transportation is actively working to secure a permanent fix for the sinkhole. Meanwhile, in the West Midlands, UK, a man had a harrowing escape from potential disaster. A sinkhole measuring 70 feet or 21 meters in depth materialized right outside his front door, where he had been standing just 3 seconds earlier. However, not everyone is as fortunate as he was. In Israel, a work party turned into a tragic event when a sinkhole suddenly opened beneath a swimming pool, engulfing swimmers. Regrettably, one man lost his life, while another managed to pull himself from the pit and suffered minor injuries. All types of natural disasters are occurring more frequently nowadays. We pray to heaven for everyone's safety.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, From Crisis to Peace. Free for download at crisistopeace.org.
Vegan, passport to the kingdom.
Set them free! 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 Set them free!
Loving viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us again on Friday, November 24th for Our Fragile Planet 2023's Wake Up Call, Part 2 of 4. Up next is Master Shares Love and Laughter with Working Team, Part 2 of 6 on Between Master and Disciples. May the consciousness of all beings be uplifted by the divine.
In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honoured ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisistopeace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Vegan.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/PE.
برنامه‌های ما شامل زبان‌های بسیاری است. از این وبسایت‌ها دیدن فرمایید: suprememastertv.com/schedule و suprememastertv.com/PE.